2, 1. Hey there, guys. Welcome to another album review with On Beat Off Script. I'm Brandito and joined by my co-host Mel. Mel, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to go to medieval times.
Yeah, a little Valentine's Day shit going on. Love that for you. But before we do that, we're going to talk about a band who I thought was more medieval than I think they are. I actually thought that Silversun Pickups was a lot older than they are until I started doing the bios and stuff like that. Because that's what we're covering today, guys. We're covering Silversun Pickups' new album, Tenterhooks. Silversun Pickups. Who are they? Let me tell you. Silversun Pickups are an American alt-rock band from LA consisting of Brian Aubert on vocals and guitar, Nikki Moninger on bass, Chris Guanlao on drums, and Joe Lester on keys. They began in 2000, joined by original guitarist Jack Kennedy and drummer Elvira Gonzalez. Named after a liquor store called Silversun from across the street of a club that they used to play at all the time, and consistently going there for
oh my god, that's funny.
They were kind of underground bar scene musicians before 2002 when Kennedy and Gonzalez left to go their own way, bringing in Lester and Guanlao. But yeah, that's why they were there. They were like, hey, do you want to go grab the Silversun Pickups? And they would just go to the liquor store and pick up booze.
That is so fun.
At the Silversun liquor store. Which is kind of sweet. They didn't actually drop their debut EP Pickle until 2005. I just gotta say, they began in 2000. I could have sworn they were a 90s band.
Okay, so me too, because this reintroduced me to Lazy Eye, and I could have sworn that was a hit from like the 90s, and then I saw it was like 2006, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
they didn't actually drop their debut EP, Pickle, until 2005. In 2006, they dropped their debut album, Carnivus, to decent success with singles Lazy Eye and Well Thought Out Twinkles, making the Billboard Modern Rock tracks and peaking at 80 on the Billboard 200. They proceeded to drop a few more records, 2009 Swoon, which assisted them in being nominated as a Best New Artist at the 52nd Grammys, to some controversy, seeing as how they were already moderately successful well before then. Yeah, they got nominated for, so we thought they were from the 90s.
Yeah.
They got nominated for Best New Artist in 2009.
That's actually insane. It's like wild.
One of the craziest things. It makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand time. This is like a weird, like, Mandela effect of Silversun Pickups. It's so odd. I could have
sworn it was from the 90s. Like
100%. In 2012, they dropped their third studio album, Neck of the Woods, which within the next 48 hours hit number 1 on the iTunes Top 100 albums. Dropping Better Nature in 2015 and then Widow's Weeds in 2020. They remained decently stable in terms of their activity. And finally, their last album in 2022 with Physical Thrills. Their style is closely described similar to bands like Smashing Pumpkins, heavy guitar distortion, shoegazy sounds, and recently have involved a bit more of kind of an electronic presence in a lot of their work, showing some adjustment with the times over their 26-year-long career that we thought was easily 30.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that, because I was so
100%.
confused.
It feels like a fever dream. Their 7th studio album, Tenterhooks, plays, ironically at times, into exactly the irony of one of their track titles. More guitar, more of the sound that their debut rubric requests. Let's see how that matched up.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, Mel, what were your thoughts on Silversun Pickups beforehand that we haven't already discussed? And the fact that we thought they were way older than they are.
Yeah, this was like another band that I like forgot I knew. So like I went into this album not realizing that I knew them fairly well, actually, because I loved Lazy Eye. So I've had it on repeat since I listened to this yesterday. I haven't been able to get that out of my like system. So yeah, I didn't know what to expect going into this, and then I quickly realized I'm just an idiot. So
yeah, turns out. Let's listen to some Silversun Pickups, Tenterhooks. First track on it being New Wave. Let's go ahead and give it a listen.
Land away the parting song.
Sansa says hi.
Hi, no doubt, hey?
His wailing vocals, because again, I just forgot that when this band existed, were bringing me back to like Jared Leto and 30 Seconds to Mars days. So I was like really enjoying that right off the bat. I also love that the drums like really brought the party in the back half of the song. I thought that was a lot of fun, and it kind of does like this full circle moment that I really appreciated the way it winded back down. But I really liked this as a start.
100%. Yeah, so you start off with very shoegazy already. It's their forte. It's a good place for them to be able to sit in. Really pretty chords already, and so like I really like that. Longer drawn out moments to start the record, which I thought was really cool. The vocals are so impressive for rock stars that are 20 plus into their career. You know, we just listened to Megadeth, where I mean they're 50 years into their career, but like
that was rough.
the vocals obviously, like, you lose the ability to hit those notes after a period of time, but it doesn't sound like they have taken a step back whatsoever. Like, Brian is still nailing those notes, which is fantastic. The comment with the drums at the end, I also noted, and then you get that guitar solo, which is just so strange and distorted for like this really emphatic moment. It was a good start. It was not overwhelming in any way. It was like, it's not something that I need to call my mom about, but it was just a really, really rock solid opening to the album. This ended up being one of my top 3 tracks for the album.
Oh, wow. It's in my top half, but not my top 3.
100%. And then that takes us into The Wreckage. So let's go ahead and give this a little listen.
Sorry, I'm being distracted by a cat.
No doubt.
Anyway, I like, this was a total vibe switch, like brought way more energy. The drums here made me feel really manic. I liked, there's this like halt before the bridge, right before it exploded again on the other side of it, which I thought was like a really cool take. I wasn't mad at the piano instrumental outro, even though I was maybe going to be triggered by Chet Faker, but I wasn't. I enjoyed it. Yeah, so this was a huge vibe switch, but I was still kind of digging it.
Yeah, no, 100%. This had obviously a lot more pulse with it. The added bass, more manic drums, which I also noted. Really cool, heavily distorted guitars on it that I really enjoyed. Really nice 90s alt-rock vibe on it. Very much rooted in the past for this track, but I can appreciate it a lot. Even though it's a bit more rocky, I still feel like it lacked a little bit of differentiation in the song structure. Like, it did feel kind of repetitive throughout the whole song. To make it feel a little bit more tired, but you have this nice little piano solo at the end, which I also noted gives it kind of a gothic sort of sound on the end of the track. But I do feel like it was a little bit oversimplified. Feels like a little bit too much underutilized space for such a shoegazy band, but still, it was a fine track. Like, again, I couldn't really knock. You'll find that with a lot of this. I can't really knock a whole lot of this. But then we go into Au revoir, Reservoir. So let's go ahead.
I've been haunted by molten flames. Come around, but the heat still feels the same. Calling you like lonely roars through every window and behind every door. Last night at the reservoir, try to sell me something that I can't afford. That night you were in my dream, said it would be better if I never run forever.
This one ends up being one of my top 3s. Yeah, I liked her vocals were like very dreamy. We were getting a lot more lyrically as far as like the storytelling goes too. The beat again made me feel like a little anxious. There was lots of like stop and goes that were adding like a cool texture. Yeah, I was into this one.
Yeah, I mean, we get a bit of Nikki, obviously, which is sweet. I like that they swap in and out every once in a while. Like, it does create some dynamics. Very chimey shoegazy guitars on this. It feels a bit more pop-like, though, which really kind of stands out as a song on this project. I prefer Brian's vocals, though, like, pretty handedly over it. The juxtaposition does make it feel more dynamic, but they sort of wash for me a little bit too much, like her vocals. It's fun, like I said, if shoegaze tried to do, like, a more pop-rock style song.
Explains why I like it.
To kind of have that action the whole way through. It's not bad, but like not one that I'd come back to. I actually, like, this one was kind of a lower light for me. I have a feeling our favorite song of the album is going to be the same.
Ooh.
Just based on what you're already saying, though. But yeah, no, this one was a little bit of a low light for me. I just know how much you like female vocals to begin with.
This is right up my alley. Yeah, it makes sense.
Knew it was already going to be in your list. That brings us over to Wakey Wakey. So let's go ahead and live this up. This is a bit of a change up for us, so let's go for it.
Flickering glow, oh, these shadows we know so well. Roots they entwine and a melody starts to swell.
This one was like really jarring in comparison. Not necessarily in a bad way. It was just a really big switch up. Also, the album hasn't been very bright at all, but this felt like we were taking like a much darker turn.
Yeah.
And it, like, even though everything's been a little manic and a little anxious, like I could feel tension starting to build here, like a lot more than the other tracks. It was okay though. It's like I didn't like love it. I just noticed that this was like a big switch as far as like the album was gonna go.
It was a huge change up. This is obviously way more rocky. I like the vibe of it. It's a cool take. It's still really rooted in that shoegaze, but it's like just obviously so much more manic. It was giving me incredible remembrance to like Squid, like Cro-Magnon Man and stuff like that. Like when that when it starts to get really manic throughout it, it's easy for shoegaze to get caught like in kind of one sort of rhythm and dynamic and repetitive. This album really seems like it's working really hard to try to counter that, which I appreciate. But it still also hasn't like fully like busted out as like a rock track yet, which was also something that I was kind of looking forward to. I thought this was going to do it. Doesn't really do it. Like it still kind of just is repetitive and never really busts out. So this one was like it was tough because something like Squid, where I could really feel like the theme that they were trying to get throughout the whole album, when it had a song like this, like it fit the story that they were telling, it fit the concept. This one felt like it was like that, but without having as much of the concept behind it.
Agree.
So it was a little bit tough on that side of things. But then we pop into Witness Mark. So let's go ahead and give this one a spin.
I loved the vocals on this one. Like I thought the cadencing in the verses was giving us a lot more than they've given us on any other tracks. The guitar picking up the pace I thought was a huge vibe. Yeah, I liked this one.
This was my favorite track by like a long shot on this album. I love this track. It slows up all the way after Wakey Wakey. You get this gorgeous opening on it, like very 90s. Like this fell into like a Savage Garden kind of vibe to me, and like I love Savage Garden, so like I don't say that lightly. Like this was so peak, really cool sound, this gorgeous kind of shoegaze like vibe, but still with that really pop rocky 90s pop rock as like vocal over it. Lyrics really stood out to me on this one too. Like it's just really a lot more focused. The story's really pleasantly like attributed with the music behind it.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of this one. This track really brought me like way into the project. I know they've capitalized on being overly dynamic, so I feel like it's not going to stay like this, unfortunately, which was kind of part of the frustration. But and then the bridge hit, and the bridge like also like just like I love this track. This track was for sure my favorite, like by like a long shot.
Wow. Okay. It's top 3 for me, but I still think I have one that I like more.
Really? Really? Well, in that case, I have to assume. Let's listen to Thorns and All.
Flashes of grey, floating away and beginning to fray. If we do what I say, beyond our control, these feathers we stone, just enough to console, halves to a whole.
This one frustrated me.
Really?
Okay, so I think it comes down to the lyrics. The rhyming pattern that they're using lyrically was really distracting to me because it just felt very elementary and it was making it feel kind of like monotone for me. It was just too much of like a B, B, A rhyme scheme where it was just sounding so repetitive. The guitar solo I thought was a really nice highlight though. But so at this point, I'm starting to kind of get a little frustrated with the album though, because everything's feeling like a really slow burn and I'm waiting for something to really pop off and nothing is really like leaving me satisfied at the end. Like I'm not getting anything cathartic out of anything yet. So I think maybe this is just when I finally start to get really kind of annoyed with that.
This is one of my favorite tracks.
Really?
Oh,
man.
I love this one. You got that distorted guitar melody on it, which is just like a really interesting like sound creation, I thought, from them. This is alt rock like all the way through. This is like a really cool sound on it. The vibe was perfect. The chorus comes in strong on it. Like all in all, just like this was another really like rock solid one. It was a good run of tracks to like really bring that rock back into it. I feel like this nails the aesthetic properly. Like, this is shoegaze rock leaning on the rock side. I was a huge fan of this version of them. It's more timid and tame, and I think it matches exactly what their intention is. I loved this one. That guitar melody was phenomenal. It was so good. You listen to the words
I
too
know.
much.
I was gonna say maybe if I just focused on the instrumentals, the rhyming like hit the lyrics were driving me fucking up a wall.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Which I can't tell you the rhyme scheme because again, that's
it was just like it
not
was
my forte. But that brings us into Long Gone. Little dirt road strum pattern. Let's go ahead.
We hear a simple rhyme, a heart taking flight, a sacred unassumed we carry around. Scratch the latest bite before we cauterize.
This was another one that frustrated me. Because I really liked the vibe switch. I liked that fast-paced, like acoustic Western vibe we had happening in the background. I did not like where we went with the chorus. The vocals on the chorus, like, actually gave me the ick. Like, it made me uncomfortable, which I'm sure was intentional. Like, they're like building a lot of like tension, I think, in this part of the album. But like, the chorus gave me the ick.
Well, I will say that you're not necessarily the biggest 90s alt-rock person to begin
Fair.
with.
Yeah.
So, like, this, again, was, like, kind of just falling into that. Yeah, like I said, dirt road strum pattern right off the hop, so it's very soft spoken for such an aggressive strum pattern, which I kind of appreciated. I thought that was a cool take on that part. The breakdown picks it up even more, while still sitting so far back in terms of the space that's there. I thought that actually worked really well in its favor. It's another cool one. It's a bit of a slump off for me after the last two tracks that were both two of my favorites. And then the bass grooves on this track were actually phenomenal. Like, big shout out to Nikki. I needed to make sure that I noted that out because, like, it's super impressive. They were really engaging. They add so much while, like, really only adding so little. And I think it really worked in a lot of favors. Truthfully, on a lot of the tracks. This is just one that, like, really stood out to me to make sure that I got that in there.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really find it frustrating.
The chorus, there's a lot of things I've realized on this album where I'm really enjoying it, and all of a sudden they do something that pisses me the fuck off, or just like
it's all rock. That's why you can't get into Red Hot Chili Peppers or Weezer.
Ugh.
Which is crazy.
I'm okay with Red Hot Chili Peppers. I do not like Weezer. Do not. Like, at least Red Hot Chili Peppers has some bangers I can get behind.
You're wrong for that. Silversun Pickups, if you ever end up seeing this, I just want you guys to know she doesn't like Weezer either. So, like, any critique she has here...
Don't take me seriously on this one.
Crazy.
This is... Yeah. I was going to be off from you on this one. I just knew.
Then we get some running out of sounds, which is really funny because, like, literally the whole point of this album was the fact they were running out of sounds and having to, like, revert back to, like, some of their earlier stuff. So let's listen to what it sounds like when you run out of sounds.
This one was fine. My note, though, is, like, they're running out of sounds, and I'm just running out of things to say. Like, I didn't have anything to really say about this one. It was just kind of there. I don't know.
Oh, I had lots to write about this one.
Educate me, please.
You got this fun little keys opening from Joe, starting from a really, like, pretty but slow background area, like a lot of this album has. It does have, like, a way more repressed tone. The whole album really does, than I think I was anticipating, but it still really, like, was hitting a spot, just a very different spot than I was figuring that we were getting at. The light addition of, like, that super filtered horn in there, too, I felt like it was going to build up to something, and it creates a lot of anxiety because of it. But it does feel like this song does need to, like, break out at some point. I love the fact that on the chorus they added in that hollow echo on the vocals. I thought that was a really nice touch. It doesn't actually end up breaking out though.
No.
And that was, like, the one thing that was, like, did leave me a little bit frustrated. But definitely one that I wanted it to break out. It's still not my top pick because of that, but it is, like, really pretty in its own right. I'm running out of what your favorite track was now. I'm having a tough time figuring this out. Let's go into...
we only have two left.
Yeah, let's go into Interrobang. Oh, never mind.
I liked this one. So So this song was the first song in a really long time that like actually left me satisfied after listening. But there is like, they have the lyrics take away these shaky tenterhooks. So like it makes sense that they're finally releasing us from that tension that they've been building. Like I said, a lot of these have felt like a really, really slow burn, and they've been successful in making me feel a little anxious and tense. But I was really waiting for that to like break because it wasn't leaving me satisfied. So I finally liked that they released us and like gave me a little bit of satisfaction.
See, that's one of the things that I
don't like. We're so
like
opposite.
we get some conventional drum patterns here. We're like back to kind of sort of what we saw in the opening part of the record. It's pretty, I feel like it's almost theatrical because like with the filters on the guitars for this one, which takes it back into that sort of Smashing Pumpkins 90s alt rock shoegazy kind of vibe. I do find that large chunks of this record just recede into itself, and I feel like this is a track that specifically does that. This eventually does end up finding that breakout that I think hurts some of the other tracks in my opinion, so I did appreciate that part of it, but like it's just a little bit too sleepy. You get these super cool little feedback filters on the solo, which is fun, but it doesn't help that sleepiness that I think this track sits in. The chorus does give it a little bit of life to the back end of the record, but it just still feels really sleepy, and this just felt like it kind of just continued to add to it.
Fair.
Yeah. And then we got our last track, Hot Wired. Let's go ahead and listen.
Fires generate broken flowers, big mistake. Pull hot wires, accelerate. Go full throttle, disintegrate. Smoking fires generate broken flowers, big mistake. Pull hot wires, accelerate. Go full throttle, disintegrate.
This one was my favorite.
As genuinely as soon as I looked at my first note, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Hot Wire.
Yeah.
Because this is Lazy Eye.
It kind of is. But again,
This is-
it was like they released that tension and they just gave us like what felt like a full, concise like song within a song, where conceptually the album in the middle half I think makes sense, but I needed to break out of that. And so it took like, Interrobang broke us out of it. Hot Wired was finally what I wanted.
You wanted Lazy Eye.
I did.
This was Lazy Eye. This was... You get the buzzy guitars. This has the rock feeling that I think like I was waiting for a good chunk of the album. I did write that down. This is the conventional version of them that like everybody expected and wanted out of them. I like the repetition of that breakdown. The outro for the project is a solid salute to themselves in a big way. It was a cool track. I was a fan. It was a good return backup for me. But, like, this was what you were wanting.
Exactly.
You wanted to hear Lazy Eye again, and they just waited till the last track to give you Lazy Eye.
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
I read that first note. I'm like, now this is right into the Lazy Eye version of Silversun Pickups. I'm like, that's not
Yeah, it was. Which I was really appreciative that they ended it on that note. So... Oh, man.
So what's your conclusion?
Yeah, so the instrumentals and I thought the production in general was like consistently a big highlight. I thought that it was really well done. I do get that they were just trying to create a very tense atmosphere, but at times that was like boring me. And when I did get uncomfortable or anxious, I didn't think it was for the reasons that they intended. Like, it didn't feel like I was getting anxious for the right reasons. I do really appreciate the artistic vision. But I was waiting for something cathartic, and they literally waited until the very, very end to give it to me. And yeah, it's another album I really appreciated because it brought me back to Lazy Eye, and again, I've had it on repeat ever since. So yeah, overall, I didn't dislike it. I just thought there was a lot that I would not revisit, and I gave it a 5.7.
Really?
Yeah.
That feels too low.
Yeah.
That feels too
There's
low.
a lot I didn't like. Okay, so I'm going to also preface this with I've been sick, and I thought I had an ear infection this week, and I finally went to the doctor, and I have like fluid trapped in my like inner ear that is making everything sound like I'm underwater. So I will say I might have to revisit this album as a whole because
Thanks for sharing that with the class. Appreciate that so much.
Maybe what I'm hearing, I might have heard a lot of things that weren't there.
That's also fair. I think this album's cool. Honestly, it has the vibe of Silversun Pickups that I expected. Although it's like a bit repressed 26 years into their career. There were some really great moments in this record, and they feel strategically placed to not fall into mundanity. With the opening and closing tracks really being some solid homages to their style, you know what I mean? And the meat and potatoes in the middle being, really nice tracks with some diversity in sound and styles in between those. That said, I do think this album really seeds into itself a bit more than not. And maybe it's that the years of being youthful and heavier and more demanding are kind of behind them. It's more mature sounding, but in that it lost some of the touch of the early success of SSPU from albums like Pickle. Still, it's a strong showing by them and an overall good project with great moments, but it did just it did fall short of being special to me in pretty much every way. I give it a 7, just a clean 7.
Okay. Fair. There were tracks I'm realizing because I've fixed how I'm rating things, and I've made my own rating scale, and I do rate each individual track. And there are tracks that you liked that I'm seeing now that Thorns and all, I rated a 4. It really fucking annoyed me. So I think my lows were just drastically low, which brought my average down a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna revisit it, but
I think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it. But honestly, I feel like chat's gonna let us know, and in the comment section we'll be able to tell us. So let us know. Is Mel wrong?
You can yell at me.
Yeah, make sure that you let her know so that she can re-listen, and when she doesn't have water in her ear, she can actually appreciate Silversun Pickups' 7th studio album, Tenterhooks, the way that she should. Maybe I'm wrong, usually not, but you can also tell me how great I am or how great I look. That would be appreciated. Make sure you let us know. We want to hear from you, and make sure you pump that follow button so that you can hear all of our reviews as we keep moving forward. But
hell yeah,
that concludes Silversun Pickups' 7th studio album, Tenterhooks. Our review of it on Beat Off Script. I'm Brandito. That's Mel. We'll catch you guys later.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.